Hi guys, I think we are live. Hello, Facebook Live. This is Alexandra from Olenko's Kitchen. I have a huge pleasure to welcome tonight brother Sage, all the way from Colorado, and we're going to be talking about a topic that is called, what is it called?
It's called urine therapy. It's also called Shivambu or Orin therapy.
And for some of you, maybe like, oh my God, what is she talking about? But you're gonna see, it's very interesting. It's very scientific. It's you can heal yourself. Better Sage wrote a book about this topic, so he's an expert. He travels the world. He has so much experience with this healing modality, and I can't wait to interview him. So, hello, hello.
Hi, Alexandra. Good to be on your show. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I'm very honored. I know you're very busy, so this is very, very exciting. Shall we start from this why urine or your story? How did you start with it? So, or you can tell us a little bit about yourself, like your
Sure.
practice, with wellness. You do a lot of different things. You have many clients.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Um, I've been a wellness practitioner for 40 years and have had six different wellness centers in the United States, New Zealand, and Canada. It's been amazing to watch people do their personal work to get their health back and their peace of mind back. So the work I've been doing has been using the elements of earth, air, fire, water, spirit, uh, fasting, nutrition, and so forth. And over the many years, I've had a lot of modalities that I've worked with the clients. And over the last 3 or 4 years, I started introducing urine therapy to my clients and eventually got really inspired after doing this for 25 years to put it together in a book, which is called Healing Water from Within. And
Or order,
the
but I don't
reason
have
I
it yet, but it's coming.
it's coming, and we
Yes,
can tell people how to get the book.
yeah,
That's an easy thing.
yes.
So there's been a lot of urine therapy books that have been out. Most of them came out at the turn of the century. We're talking about the 19th century. Or what is that? That's the 20th century. We're in the 21st century. Thank you. And so none of the books really, most of the books were technical on urine therapy, and they talked about how it works, the research behind it, the testimonials, scientific stuff, but nobody addressed the emotional and psychological counterpart to let people know why it's not the myth and the theory that the medical profession gave us for way too long, but it's actually a medicine that your body creates for you at the time when you need it the most. What urine really is ultra filtered blood plasma. It is the golden water which comes from the plasma as part of the blood components that is filtered through millions of systems in the body, in the kidneys, known as the nephron system. So this highly distilled, micronized, little teeny water is nutrient dense blood plasma water. Some people call it urine. And what people have been using it for thousands of years for is for self healing, internally and externally. And that's basically in a nutshell. I can go deeper if
Of
if
course,
you
and
go
we
that
will.
direction.
But so yes, it's not because most of us we are taught that urine is dirty, and when you go to the bathroom, number one, number two, so it's just something waste. It's toxic. So like you said, it's very very clean, and it's actually very healing. So it's plasma from blood. So it's not. It doesn't. It's not part of digestive system that is going number two, and but it's something that actually can help us. And can we touch a little bit that we all experience urine therapy when we were babies, when we were in mama's tummy, because we were all floating in our urine. I don't know if people ever thought of this, but that's the way it is.
Yes, you might say we were a part uh, sea creature or
Hmm.
water. We were water babies,
Hmm.
really. We were water babies because we drank the amniotic fluid, which was
Hmm.
95% urine. All right, so we would eliminate the urine and drink it and refilter it. And every time we drank it and refilter it, today it's known as looping, which is a continual recycling of the urine when you drink it throughout the day. And so what was happening is you kept creating more nutrient dense, more therapeutic water that you're, I mean, look at babies. They come out beautiful and they soft skin. They say, oh, it's like a baby's behind. The baby's so beautiful. Well, it's been nothing but urine for 9 months, so
Ex-
it's totally perfect.
Exactly. So that's one thing. Second thing, urine's been used in pharmaceutical industry for a long time. This is a secret by models, supermodels. They all put their urine on their faces. I don't know if you've heard of it, but that's why they have nice skin. They put it in their hair too. It's used in like hand creams, food creams. It has look at the ingredients. Many times it says uric acid, urea. Many times now it's used synthetic one, but in the past it's been used from animals. My experience many years ago when I came to this country, I'm originally from Poland. My friend, Chinese friend, back then I was vegetarian. I was still eating eggs. She said, try these 1,000-old eggs. The Chinese delicacy that how it came about many years ago. That apparently horse pee on the eggs, and that's how they came along with this aged in urine eggs. I don't know if you ever had it, but yeah, it's like so. I've heard of it. I used to know somebody who used to drink it, but it's like I never, it just, I've heard of it and I knew it's healthy, but I never. Now I'm very interested, like for the last few weeks. So I'm so glad, to be talking to you. And we have a lot of people joining, and they all saying hi, and a lot of people already asked me questions. So now I'm giving.
Grab a
Oh,
glass. Let's get the party started.
okay, so you drinking your urine or age urine? Because yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. So, what are you
What
drinking?
you don't know about me is I do not go to Pee Drinkers Anonymous because there is no such thing. But I am a pee drinker from Texas. Now, try to say that when you're in Texas, you may get some strange looks. But this is aged urine. And so this particular batch is almost 3 months old.
Wow. So I know some people are gonna be like, first of all, drinking urine, then age urine. So first, why we drinking urine? How can we heal? And why would we age the urine and drink age urine or put on the skin? So can you explain that?
The bouquet is to live for. Hold on, wait for it.
Acquired taste.
Oh my God, it's better than a Cavignon. Better than wine.
I
Oh my
know,
God.
and some people say you can make kombucha. I've seen in some videos on YouTube. This guy makes like his kombucha with aged urine. So people make some interesting things.
Yeah, so the difference between aged and fresh is it more like a personal choice for people. Before aged urine became really popular, we didn't really know about it till the 1940s when a guy named John Armstrong wrote the
Hmm.
book Water of Life. And in there he says after 4 days it starts to incubate. And that's when aged urine begins, according to him. According to Dr. Rosalind Hanson and other urine therapist experts, they say 9 months is the beginning mature point. But the whole idea is to let it incubate or potentize or strengthen as the days go by. It's kind of like making kombucha in a way.
Or wine. And it becomes darker and darker and stronger in flavor. Yes.
It does. But the point I want to make, Alexandra, and some of the people catching on and some still a little in the dark about it, is that the potency, the benefits, and the therapeutic value of urine therapy, urine or shibambu, in and itself is what gives it its power to do the healing work. So if you prefer fresh, use fresh. If you prefer aged, use aged. You're going to get to the same place. They may have a little different ingredient content, chemicals wise, and composition, but start with fresh. And when you feel like you can store it without bothering it, just simply get a glass jar and put a cheesecloth on top, and don't touch it for a while.
Okay. Do you have
Very
some?
simple.
Do you have some music in the background in your house?
Yes. Is it too loud?
Yeah, maybe we should. Oh, so it's better. Yeah, so we can hear you better. I think it's better now. Yeah. Thank you.
Better. Thank you.
And so going back, why drinking urine? For those people who think it's toxic, it's not good. It's something that our bodies eliminating. Why? Like why? Why?
Why do you drink it?
Yes.
Why do I drink it?
Yes. And why you teach
Well,
about it? Why you wrote a book and you teaching
yeah,
this to your clients?
great question. In order to really get a grasp on this, you got to put the two different theories side by side. You have the medical model theory, which tells us it's a disgusting waste material byproduct. And some people never get any further than that because they never do any research and they never investigate. And then you have the millions. I hope you guys are listening. There are millions of people using urine externally for topical use and internally for internal use. They're all over the place, but you won't hear about them if the modern news media doesn't reveal this. So the reason I drink it, because I know, and I have personal experience of using it, that it does have medicinal and therapeutic value. And the people who open their mind and they're going to try it are usually people who are at the edge of everything. They're sick, they're getting close to death, they have no alternatives, they try the medical profession, and those are usually the ones who go, okay, I'm in, I'll try anything. And we can catch people.
And what is so healing in urine that will help us heal? Like, I've heard of many people who, like, the doctor said, go home, there's nothing, there's nothing we can do with cancers or all different diseases. And then, they tried urine therapy, or someone told them, try urine therapy, which is nothing new. It's been used for thousands of years in many cultures. But, for many of us living in Western society, like, we probably never heard of it.
Well, you've got the properties, and then you have the nutritional profile. The properties range everything from anti-parasitic, if you guys are still doing parasite cleanses, antiviral, if you're still concerned about germs and viruses, anti-pathogenic, anti-candida, anti-tumoral, anti-canceral, you name it. I mean, people use it for antiseptic, antibacterial. Some people will clean their countertops on it off and then just put water over it. Because of all the properties, I mean, that handles most of diseases which are viral related. Now, the ingredients, there's over 200 known constituents and ingredients which you can find in any one of the urine therapy books, or even find it on Wikipedia. They'll go through the ingredients list of the amino acids and the enzymes and the essential fatty acids and the DHEA, melatonin, oxytocin. There's a whole range of nutrients that your body needs on a daily basis. It's just a micronized size. The beautiful thing about drinking really highly distilled urine or water like this is that it gets into the bloodstream really fast. You don't have to worry about absorption or digestion time.
And I've heard of this, and if somebody knows somebody from Navy or Army, or even people, when they tell you, if you ever get, stuck on a deserted island and you have no water or, I don't know, nothing, just drink your own urine, and that's like your surviving kit. So this is known, but it's just nobody's really talking about it. So can we touch a little bit, like, why you think all this barriers and negative, negative thoughts of urine?
Well, you made a good point about the person who is stuck on an island or out to sea in a boat, and they are taught to drink their urine and they can survive that way. But they don't understand that, well, some do, that if you took that same training and you brought it into your life, where metaphorically we're on an island because we have bad air and bad food and chemicals on our clothes that are causing us to be sick, but yet we have urine at our disposal, at our beck and call. Why not take it? Now, it's also widely known by the medical profession that if you get stung by a man-o'-war, you put urine on it, And if you're stung by a bee, a wasp, you get sunburn. I sometimes go to hot springs with my friends. It's clothing optional hot springs. And everybody gets all sunburned, right? And they put on lotion. And I just rub pee all over my shoulders, all over my back. And the sting goes away in about 20, 30 minutes, and I'm good for the rest of the weekend, and they're still suffering. And I tell them this, and they go, and they don't get it. It's like they're so programmed, and that's what we're dealing with people, is they have a mindset, an association with urine being a certain way, and it's the same with every teaching we have about ourself and our health and everything. Once you move your mind to a new understanding, then it makes sense to you. And that's what we're teaching in my book and in other conversations, to be able to have an educated and intellectual conversation with people who are new to it. It still triggers them and they're uncomfortable. But to me, the people who come up and ask me about urine therapy have a start because they're asking. They're curious.
Would you say that a lot of people are kind of like they don't want to say it like in public, or because they kind of ashamed, or they just or you have people like just they don't care, or you have both of those clients, or
I have both. And one of the questions I love to ask when they tell me it's a waste product, I love to ask this question: where did you get that idea from? I want people to think through their questions, the ones that ask me the questions, because they're trying to prove that they're right, but they have a a, um, a shaky foundation because they've got nothing to back it by other than somebody told them that it was terrible. But yet the people like myself who drink it, we have a lot of experience and we have a lot of research, and there's a lot of evidence uh, backed by a lot of testimonials of people that are healing everything. So people just need to have a shift of perception. I'll fill in the blanks for them so they have more to go by when they want to make a decision.
and would you say that like medical professionals and doctors they don't find this modality healing modality working because it's accessible, it's free, everybody can have it anytime, anywhere. I mean, you just need some water, and then you pee, and then you have your drink. So because it doesn't make money, you think that it's all about the money and power, or like how would you approach
Yes,
this?
yes, they're they're afraid of their losing their career,
Mhm.
and a lot of the directions that doctors take are from the pharmaceutical industry and from the medical associations, who tell them how to treat their patients and what protocols and what kind of drugs to give them. So if they just and I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of medical doctors know this, but they won't admit it because they will lose their career
Yes.
or their reputation. If people find out that a medically trained physician is offering urine therapy, they might feel like they're going to be laughed out of their association and they would lose everything. So they keep it quiet.
My Polish grandmother, she was a farmer, and I had very strong connection with her. That's why I love nature, because I used to spend a lot of time with her. That's why I stopped eating meat, because I saw what happened to my friends. They were chickens in this example, and I was like, I'm not gonna eat animals. But I feel like all these folk people, and many of my viewers, I know they're from different countries. Like, ask your grandmothers, mothers, because I'm sure
Yeah.
that in your culture, urine therapy has been used, and you just don't know, or it's forgotten, or even in Poland, like if somebody has a wart on their skin, they will put urine. And my grandfather, both grandfathers, they were soldiers in World War I and World War II, and they told me that if the doctors didn't have antibiotics, they used to put urine to disinfect the wounds of the wounded soldiers. So this is not something that it's not nothing new to me, but it was just something that we don't talk about it and don't think about it, because we go to the bathroom and it's just out, and yeah, we're moving along with our life. So
Yeah. Yes, I agree. It's amazing that you brought it up this way because I talk to people. Let me put it another way. Because I wrote a book on urine therapy, not only did it make me more of a public figure, but it opens up doors and conversations with people that I probably wouldn't had
mhm.
if I was just talking about the subject. I mean, I have friends who came out of what I call the water closet. I started bringing up the subject, and two of my dear friends from India admitted in public they've been drinking their pee since 1983.
Mhm.
I had clients who said, "Yeah, I've been doing this for 5 years." I had this one gal that I know. She's a dear friend of mine. She's a gorgeous 75-year-old. She said she's been putting urine on her face since the 70s. I said, "No wonder you look so great, Lynn." And I'm so comfortable with the subject now. People become more comfortable. It has to do with the person who's bringing up the subject.
Mhm. So it is like social barriers and programming that, especially in our culture, there's a lot of taboo, and, it's not right. And, that's how it's like we are living in the matrix. It's which pill you're going to take. So it's up to you. So I'm sure you had a lot of people who you help healing. But I like one of the interviews I was watching with you. You said that not everybody can be healed. That I believe you said something because they have to have the power, not the power, but like the strength and inner inner knowing that they want to live, and not everybody has that. Can you touch a little bit on that, being, a healer and wellness practitioner? You do the massage and um what do you do, the food,
Life coaching. I didn't
yeah,
mention life coaching.
yes.
Life coaching is designed to help people break free of their belief
Mm-hmm.
systems and crack their case permanently so their mind gets liberated from being enslaved by your mind. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what I wrote, what I put together in a video was based on a published article I wrote in 2006 entitled "Your Sacred Living Food and Your Spiritual Path." And now I'll say urine therapy won't save you from your mind. If people unconsciously are suffering and they're miserable, then they unconsciously don't want to be here. They'll want to kill themselves, use the term, spiritual term ascension, which is a popular New Age term, to die. And so if you have that running in your unconscious mind, the best superfood in nutrition like shivambu won't save you or won't heal you. So you have to do the inner work on clearing your emotional body, your psychology, and everything between you and being joyous.
And
Then everything works.
I think it's really true, because many times, like I wrote, I teach a lot of about benefits of raw food and plant-based diet, rainbow diet, and many times people tell me, "Oh, I can never do this. I can never like live without meat. I need my meat. I need my proteins." And I'm always like, it's absolutely, like, this is just like your belief. No, you don't. And but it's just, yeah, it's like what we are accustomed to. And also we have food addictions, and we have all different addictions in our life. Sometimes we are addicted to drama, negative emotions, and we have maybe some negative situations from the past, maybe from childhood, some negative, or very disturbing relationship with parents or caretakers. So this is all, like, all this is in you, and this in every cell in your body. So when you want to heal, sometimes there's like a layers. It's like onion, and you peeling and peeling. So I'm sure you have this with your clients, that they may come for earache, and then you may do like life coaching with them. Yes.
Yep. I will find out what is their attachment and addiction to food, because most people eat for comfort or to override their pain and their suffering and their misery. And the folks that have been moving more toward living off urine and fruit and breatharianism, they've discovered that it's the dogma and rules and addictions we have to food that's causing people to not be able to give up their favorite foods, because that's what their go-to is. I mean, if you ask a meat eater, do you think it would kill you if you didn't eat meat? You're going to find out really quick if they think meat is their salvation, and they have to move on from that. So everybody seems to be, when I talk to people about food, same with you, when you talk to people about health and nutrition and raw foods, you have to sense where they are in
Mm-hmm.
their evolution, moving away from food.
Exactly. So what is your diet like? What do you eat? So are you a fruitarian, or
Hmm.
so you?
Fruit and shivambu
Okay.
and juice.
So you eat like salads, or mostly like liquids?
Basically, I cut open a papaya or eat bananas.
Okay.
I mean, it's so simple to not even think about food being anything other than pleasure.
Yeah.
I don't have to think anymore about nutrition and deficiencies and lacking anything, because that's all a man-made concept. If the Creator made us in perfection, why would He leave something out? And why would He create your system to have to go find a missing anything? And so it's nice to free your mind of even that kind of mindset that you're worried so much. And people they ask me, where do you get your this vitamin and your that protein? And I go, I don't even think about it. I'm too busy enjoying my life. It's nice to get past a lot of those things.
Yes, and you can get it like from sun gazing, or just, our skin is the biggest organ. Like, people don't forget about this, that we absorb so much from the air, and which is polluted, and there's also a lot of negative stuff. But when you put the urine on your skin, and we're gonna talk about this, the age urine is actually very beneficial. Yes, because it goes to your whole body. Yes.
Bloodstream, yes.
Your bloodstream, and blood carries oxygen, so that's how we get life. Yes, life, yeah.
Yeah. And the shivambu is one of the most highly alkaline as well as distilled waters you can drink on the planet.
Okay. So you only drink distilled water?
I drink distilled water. I drink this form of distilled
Mm-hmm.
water, and I'll have some fresh squeezed orange juice or grape juice. And grapes are in. I tend to do grapes for a couple of days
Okay. Do
and
you
just keep
eat
it real
any
simple.
vegetables? Like vegetables too?
The only time I get off my diet is when I'm at a social event.
Okay.
And a lot of people call me a purist, and I don't draw the line that far because I know how to clean out my body, and I love the people, and I love how well they design food. And so I may break, or what some people call binging, like I did in the last holiday, and Christmas is coming up. This guy's always asked me to be the salad guy, so I make these beautiful mandala salads. But as a preference, I would put fruit as my default setting.
Okay. And so now, any questions? I see a lot of people watching. I see my friend Marina. Marina, actually, it's amazing. As I told you yesterday, I would love you to connect because Marina is drinking distilled water, and that's how she gets her energy from distilled water, which I know for many people will be like, this sounds not possible. But I want to touch a little bit about distilled water, urine, and then like rain and the whole process, like fog or mist, or how can essential oils are distilled too, and fruits like fruit juices or from vegetables. And like perfect will be coconut. When you open coconut, you have the coconut water, which is like distilled water from coconut tree. So can we touch about a little bit like why distilled liquids are healthy for us?
Now, first of all, let me just give a disclaimer. I'm not Andrew Norton Weber or Dr. David Jubb, and these guys have the minds of a genius, and they can talk about quantum physics and things that are like so beyond anybody. But they're looking at the chemical composition of the water, the size of the molecules, and the vitality or the vibration of the water. And they all seem to agree that the distilled water in the urine have met and exceeded all those requirements. And so they find using spring water and other forms of water, even those machines that made alkaline water, just doesn't seem to get into the cells and into the bloodstream as well as the distilled in the urine. So they keep moving people back to that in the conversation.
So this is just like the cleanest, the fastest way to like put people on the right track if somebody's not feeling good.
Yeah, we want to get not only your body hydrated, but when we talk about drinking urine through the nose or using a neti pot, you can actually rehydrate the cavities of your sinuses and decalcify your pineal gland.
I know what you said, but they're gonna say drinking urine through your nose. What did he just say? Can you explain? I know, yeah. There's a lot of yogis like So yeah, it's like a neti, kind of like a neti pot. So can you explain a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
You see how we help each other with questions?
This is like a top level, but yeah, then we have to go back and say like how somebody who doesn't want to do urine therapy, how can they start, which you have your technique which you told me yesterday, but
yeah. Now the go-to guys who are the drinking through the nose experts is Samuel Cohen and Kelly Ra, one of his associates out there, and he's either in Israel or India. I mean, he travels a lot. And he wrote a book called Drinking Through the Nose. And so what he's been teaching us is that there are cavities, there's 5 sinuses, and the people who have studied anatomy, physiology will know there's 2 in the midbrain, along the nose, and along the bridge of the cheekbone. And most of them are hydrated by the general public because they don't get moisture into that part of the brain, or they're loaded with mucus or whatever it is. So they discover that when you bring it into now when you use neti pots, for one thing, they're going to filter from side to side with maybe a little bit of moisture going up into the higher regions of the sinuses. So what they were teaching people is either put it in your hand and sniff it up, or drink it through a glass, a cup, whatever. And there are certain techniques where you can use the muscles in behind the nose to bring it up into the higher parts of your head. So the whole idea is to bring nutrients across the brain and into the upper parts of your cranium and head that have never been hydrated or had been calcified because of diet and chemicals in the air. And they found that through their experience, meditation was transcending for them. They said they can tap into states of consciousness better than they had before.
wow, that sounds Fascinating. The reason why I got interested into urine therapy, because I have very bad allergies. Every since I moved to this country, and then I've touched with my um, acupuncture therapist this summer, and probably had something to do like with my connection with my father from my childhood, but also when I moved here 20 years ago. When you come from another country and you want to go to school here, you have to get a lot of vaccines because we don't get as many vaccines in Europe. So I got tons of vaccines, and then for my green card and for, I don't believe for my citizen, but like you get a lot of vaccines. And my I never had allergies. I'm extremely allergic to maple and oak, which we have in Poland, but every spring I'm so sick, and I've tried everything: juice cleanses, detox, herbs, I mean, you name it, I've tried it. So I'm really willing. I'm doing this because I don't want to have allergies. Because if, for those who know me, they know I suffer so bad. I get horrible asthma, and I don't have asthma every spring. It's really, really bad, and nothing really works. I mean, acupuncture a little bit and essential oils, but it's still, I'm very sick. So I'm really looking forward to try it, because, and this connected to my sinuses, because I always had problems with sinuses since I was a child, but I never had allergies. But yeah, so yeah, I'm willing to try it. So what else? How can we try it if we don't want to? We like,
Drink it.
if we don't
Yeah,
want to
great
drink,
question.
for those who are like,
Yeah, great question. What I do with the people who are sitting on the fence or they have an aversion to it, and I might have told you to suggest it to your husband, is to start with a foot soak. You get one of those 2-gallon Tupperware tubs or Rubbermaid, whoever makes it, and collect 1 to 2 quarts minimum. 4 quarts would be even better. And just soak your feet in it for 30 minutes. And while your feet are soaking in it, soak your hands in it, massage and rub it into the reflexology points of the soles of your feet, up your shins, your calves, and your knees. If you're in a bathtub, you don't have anything on, go for it and rub it up your body. But the reason we use the foot soak is because, as you know, from
hmm,
using essential oils, the widest skin surface on the body is the pores in the feet. So when you put the shivambu, your feet into the urine, that's the best way to absorb it, the greatest amount, and it'll go right into the bloodstream and be delivered everywhere.
okay, so that's a great way. So what if it's cold, like now it's very cold in winter, we wouldn't warm it up. It has to be like the room temperature, because we wouldn't want to destroy the properties. Yes, correct?
Yes and no.
No, okay.
If it's too, okay, if it's too cold, you can heat it up. You can add some warm distilled water, whatever you can, and then it becomes more of a homeopathic version,
Mm-hmm.
which means it'll be diluted
Mm-hmm.
down, but it's still as effective.
Okay.
It's the same when people are doing enemas, and that's another conversation. Is if they don't have enough to fill up the enema bag, they'll add warmed up distilled water to fill up the bag,
That's
and
what
it just, yeah.
somebody asked me, like the question in private, like they've heard of like the enemas, and like when they were confused, how do you do it with? So it has to be like all urine. You don't. Oh, you can add a little bit of the distilled water if you don't. And can you warm it up, or again, or it has to be the room temperature?
Very, very same theory as the
Mm-hmm.
foot soak. You, as much as you have is as much as you can put into the enema bag. If you were thinking it through and you collected 2, 3, 4, 8 quarts during the week you were collecting it, you could fill up an entire enema bag with Orin. Yes, if you don't have it, warm it up. It'll dilute a little bit. It'll be like homeopathic, but it's still going to work because it's mixed in with the water.
Okay, great. So if someone, okay, they try the soak, what will be the next thing? Like they don't want to, try. Would you tell them to like mix it with the juice or something, with the smoothie, just a little bit? Like how would you uh approach that?
I would start them off with a dropper full.
Okay.
I would say, okay, start off with a baby step. Put a little under your tongue, put your finger in it. You gotta make the jump from it's to my God, this is the nectar of immortality.
Mhm.
And whatever steps it takes for them to change their belief and their shift their perception is whatever it takes. So some people, I've got a friend, he overheard me having a conversation with my friends in India. He says, and he wanted to jump in because he was so proud of himself. He said, oh, I do 2 dropperfuls at a day. I said, great, Jeff, I'm so happy for you. When you get up to 3 ounces, let's talk.
Okay.
Because for him, that was a brave move. That was a big move.
Yes.
So start people off wherever you can.
And the diet, like what people eat, would the flavor and the smell change and the color? Like the if somebody's eating really, like sad American diet, a lot of French fries and fast food, like is it gonna be like disgusting, or if how?
Well, the first couple times you do that, it's going to be difficult to be around it because it's going to be an off color, it's going to be too acidic, and it's going to smell bad. But even those people can start drinking it several times through the day, and it'll filter through the system and start getting better and better. But the further they get away from that American diet, the sooner their body can start regenerating and heal itself at the deeper levels, and the sooner the elimination organs, by the way, the elimination organs, which the kidneys are not in that group, is the liver, the intestines, the skin, and the lymph system.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to eliminate those toxins and the metabolic waste, not the kidneys.
Okay. And if somebody is, okay, they tried a little bit, and then they just get more and more, how many times a day? Like I've heard that like the morning one is the best one. Like how do they do it? Or does it matter what time of the day?
There's the traditional method, which came out of the Hindu teachings of the Damar Tantra, the story of Shiva and Parvati, in which Shiva finally gave in and told his wife why he was so handsome and lived such a beautiful life. He said, well, drink of yourself and live. And she caught on, oh, yeah, I drink my own water. And so these scriptures came about, and part of the scripture says we're supposed to let go of the first part of the flow and the last part of the flow and just drink the middle stream. The reason they said that because they associated with a snake, and they didn't want to have you. I mean, it's symbolic, drinking the head and the tail of the snake. So today, 5,000 years later, there are people who are still in that camp and they drink it that way, and they only drink the morning urine. And there's other people like myself who go Shivambu, Shivambu, Shivambu. It is all the power of Shivambu, and you drink it whenever you can drink it, whether it's first thing in the morning, all throughout the day, or last thing at night. You just have to use your intuition, and that's a lot of what makes this work for people. And since it's an inside medicine and it's an inside healing and it's an inside job, your intuition gets better and better when you use it.
And
Not
also,
just with you, not
also
just drinking. Go ahead.
no. I said would also people will notice that like when their diet changes, that the urine gets better, and then like maybe they'll be like, oh, actually, it's like our body, it's like a computer. It's amazing, because what you put in, it comes out. So you really should think what you're eating and drinking, and like how you're living your life, because people think it's disgusting, like that is disgusting, but actually like what are you putting in through your mouth, and you're eating all this processed food, french fries, hot dogs, all these cookies and all this junk, and then then you don't feel good, and then you're taking medication, and then you're going to the doctor, and you're getting more medication. It's just like it's just like a vicious cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it seems to me because there are so many people that are talking about this therapy on Facebook and social media. the the person who's uninformed, who would never think about doing, doesn't pay attention to the internet. They don't watch television. They're pretty much isolated people. But the people who are researching their health and they catch into these groups, they're going to make that leap a lot faster, because they can see, well, other people are getting benefit and they're looking pretty good and they're happy people. And that's one of the side effects. You don't get a side effect of being happy when you take drugs, but when you get your chemistry in balance and the toxins removed, and you don't have things going in your brain and causing you migraines and constipation, it's amazing how happy you become.
And also is because there are some pieces of like traces of like hormone like melatonin and dopamine that makes us actually feel happy and good, like very sustained and just joyful, because
Yeah.
comes from urine, correct?
Yeah, there's melatonin, there's serotonin, there's oxytocin, there's DHEA, there's dopamine, like you said. There's a whole bunch of stuff that people take to calm their nerves, to adjust their adrenal glands, to help their nervous system. And if it comes in the most perfect form and you don't have side effects because it's not a synthetic drug, big difference. It's a game changer.
I was talking to my friend and he's like big gym guy and he exercises and I told him like, oh, I'm thinking of like urine therapy. You're gonna think I'm crazy. And he says, no. He says, I've heard like boxers do it, Olympic athletes do it. So I was like surprised that he wasn't like saying, like that's gross. So I think it's a lot of people have heard of it or maybe even doing it, but just not talking about it. It's just yeah.
Yeah, and I can't wait till you and some of the other people who are watching the show start joining and participating in the Facebook groups because these guys have an awesome sense of humor. They're not uncomfortable with the subject. They can talk about drinking pee with each other and peeing in the bathtub and carrying a cup in your car when you can't find your way to the bathroom. And we talk about all kinds of stuff that would
What's
make us look like idiots or cults from the average person.
what are the names of the groups? So if anybody wants to join, do you have like your own group or is it
I have two groups. One's Urine Tribe. The other one is Shivambu Enthusiasts.
okay?
There's several. If you just look up in Facebook groups, urine therapy. Um, there's one called the High Vibe Tribe with a guy named We Do Shivambu. He's the admin, and you'll find them.
Okay.
A lot of them interconnected, and you'll see the posts crossing over.
And also, you participate every year in the convention. I believe the next one is gonna be in Las Vegas. Yes.
Yeah, the last one was September in Las Vegas. There was a 3-day event, 80 uh, people who are urine therapists, advocates, users, radio show hosts, authors like myself. They showed up. The next one's going to be in September, and I'm registered. If anybody wants to meet me,
In
just go
Las
to
Vegas.
Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, I love Las Vegas, but hopefully I can come. Okay, so if hopefully people start doing it and then they break the barriers. So now let's move to this age urine because that's more like heavy. I mean, that's like more advanced level. So how do we age it? Why do we age for how long? And what do we do with it?
Okay, so get yourself a glass jar. It can be a 1 quart or it can be a 2 quart. I have these 2 quart ball jars. And on the top of it, you want it to be able to breathe. So you put in a really thin material like a cheesecloth, and they usually it will sit right on top of the jar lid, the opening, or you'll use a rubber band. And you just collect it till the jar fills up and then leave it alone. I suggest people put a piece of paper or tape on it with a date. So that way you can look back and go, oh yeah, it's a week old, a month old, 2 months old, whatever.
Oh, so
And
you
what
just
it's
add
doing,
it? You just add like many different urines together?
you yeah, you fill it
Okay.
up. You fill up the jar.
Okay.
If it takes you 1 day, 3 days, whatever it is, you fill up the jar, you date it, and then leave it alone until you're ready to go back to it.
Okay.
Now, what some people do is, as it's aging, they add some fresh to it, so it becomes part of the aging. It's kind of like a hybrid, but it enhances whatever you add to it.
Okay, and it becomes it has like when you're making like I make like my own yogurt or when you make kombucha or like kefir, I make it from like coconut or I don't use like milk, but so does it like get the healthy bacteria in it or like how is it changing in the like component?
Well, the chemistry is going to enhance it. It's going to increase the potency of it, but it doesn't need to have probiotics
Okay,
because it's antibacterial, it's antifungal. So it's not going to touch the healthy flora and fauna and the
okay.
bacteria in the gut and in the body. It's going to address the ones that are attacking and compromising the body.
So it's not it doesn't like I make like my like sauerkraut or pickles and when you get the like when something ferments. So this is not gonna ferment. It's just aging. Okay.
Yeah, it's aging. Now, when the bad bacteria that's attacking the body is eliminated from the body, then the body can start reproducing its healthy bacteria without having to compete,
Okay.
which is a beautiful thing.
And is it ever like you can mess it up and do something wrong with it? That something may get spoiled, like you get mold on it? No, because it's antibacterial, antifungal. So yes, there's no way to mess it up.
You can't mess it up. No,
Okay. And put
great
it in a
question.
cool plate, put it in the fridge, or put it on the counter. Where would you store this?
I store it at room temperature. I
Okay.
have it underneath my bathroom cabinet.
Okay.
I started doing that because my wife didn't like it. but she didn't participate either. So that's my water closet. I keep it under the bathroom, and I usually have about 3 gallons at a time.
Okay. And then what do you do with it? So you can put on your skin, correct?
There's 14 protocols. 12 of them are in my book. There's more protocols that are being discovered all the time. And you just take it out every time you use it.
Get
Whether
the
it's
book,
going to
people.
be
Healing Water from Within. I got it mine on Amazon. It's probably gonna come tomorrow. Or you have it?
this
Yeah.
is backwards. This is backwards
Yeah.
because of the screen, but Zoom, a complete
Yes.
Zoom, you can't really tell.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah. If anybody wants signed copies, I can sign them and send them to anywhere in the United States if someone wants to buy directly from me.
Oh, I should have done that, but
You didn't know.
okay. So they can. So, but can you give us like maybe one modality how to do it with the age one?
Yeah. So I'll give you several. One is an eye cup.
Eye cup.
You get,
Wow.
you get an eye cup. All my little devices and toys are in the bathroom. One's an eye cup. It holds about a half an ounce, 3/4 of an ounce. What you do is you put it back against the eye, create a suction against the eye, blink about 7 or 8 times, and leave it against the eye for about 1 or 2 minutes. So that's going to help wash the eye. It addresses cataracts, floaters, glaucoma, any kind of eye challenges. All right. You can get a 1 or 2 ounce dropper bottle and squeeze the dropper in it and stick it in your ear on the side for hearing conditions, and then drain it. All right. You can gargle it. You can swish with it. If you leave it in your mouth for 3 to 5 minutes, it's the same as coconut pulling. We call it urine pulling. It's the same kind of thing. A real simple thing to do is to get a washcloth and give yourself a massage with it.
Awesome. I bet for the eyes will help me with my allergies because when I get the allergies in the spring, my eyes get so itchy. Sometimes get swollen. So I bet that would be really. I have to get the little cup. For the. I don't have that.
Yeah, yeah, and I will talk to you how to heal the allergies off camera.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. That's not fun. Those allergies are not fun. And I'm telling you,
No.
I've tried everything, and yeah. So I'm excited to try. I like to experiment. I'm not afraid to try new things. So,
Pioneer woman.
yes. So okay. So they can do that. So can they put it in like their hair?
Of course. Every time I put it in my hair gets darker.
Wow. Oh, it gets darker. Wow.
It's darker because whatever nutrients we're missing or whatever chemistry needs to be corrected, it does that. It makes it fuller, makes it thicker. I haven't grown back the bald spot yet, but I keep trying. Who knows? Maybe it's not supposed to happen. I don't know. But yes, I definitely would put it in your hair because of using it every day. And the point I'm going toward, and a lot of people going toward, is what I call the saturation point. And that means being involved with it on a daily basis, using as many of the protocols as you can on a daily basis so that your body corrects itself and it operates at a higher level of nutrients. So the more protocols you can use, the quicker you can speed this process up. But it does require a diet change, a lifestyle change, and some other things that will really make it even better and quicker.
And is it something because when you put it in your mouth, that there's some kind of glands or something under our tongue that they connect to the digestive system and like the all organs, and they know like what kind of make like little vaccines. That's why when you drink your own urine, you have like a homeopathic medicine. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you create antibodies for yourself to protect yourself from the invaders. But the salivary glands, people tell you should chew thoroughly, and that's one of the downfalls of most people is they don't eat their food enough to make it small enough to digest. So yeah, the digestion starts in the mouth. And so of all the protocols, number 1 would be drinking. Number 2 would be the nose. Number 3 is the enemas. I mean, you can go in any direction you want, but if you want the rapid absorption, the maximum absorption, drinking is the way to go.
Okay. Interesting, fascinating. Something
So
else.
all you people out there, get over it. Let's get going.
I know a lot of people are watching, but they not saying. I have some questions from like from before. So let me see. Did I touch every? Okay. Should we drink aging urine keep in aging urine in the fridge after it has aged? No. So it never goes in the fridge because it's never gonna get spoiled. Yes. It's like
Yeah,
why?
it's also not an idea to drink cold beverages because it's harder on
Mm-hmm.
digestion. You want to keep your body temperature right.
Okay, this is a good question. If urine is so beneficial, why does the body removes it? Remove it.
Okay, well, you have to understand where that question came from. If people are still in the mindset that says it's a waste product, they would think in terms that, oh, the body wants to get rid of waste. But what it's really doing, it's giving you medicine. It's a shift of perception. Like we talk about a lot of things that people think are real. And so it's not getting rid of waste. It's you're basically peeing out nutrients. And if you collect it and use it, then you're going to get the benefits from it.
So it's because we have too much of, I don't know, vitamin or this or that, and that's why it's just removing it because at this particular moment our body doesn't need it.
Well, you talk about why do we pee? Is that what
Yes,
we're saying here?
yes. I'm going back to the question that this person wrote.
Yeah. If you look at um, if you look at the scientific fact that what urine really is ultrafiltered blood plasma or plasma water, what it's doing, it's circulating, it's offering. I mean, the whole idea of saying the word eliminating implies that it's something you don't want to ever use again. And I think a lot of it is that whole conversation that you are eliminating something. What you're doing is providing a gift to yourself, and what you do with it is up to you. However, we've been so trained to think that if we're eliminating, quote, there's that word again, we should be near a toilet or we should be out by a forest. But it's a whole different perception. If you look at it, well, you're not eliminating, you're being given your medicine, and the bladder is giving you a signal. It's time to gather it up. See what I'm saying? It's like two
Yes,
different versions.
I understand, and I feel it's like going back to the nature, like with the rain, and then the rain falls, and then it's fog and the mist, and it's just changing. Like the energy is changing. It's just different form, but it's they all beneficial and they all unique in their own way. It's just a different. It's just about like energy exchange because nothing is still in life. So it's
Mm-hmm. Constant moving. Yep.
okay. Let me see. Is there another question?
Hmm.
Okay, so we already touched this for urine enemas. Do we use the fresh one or aged one? So the aged one will be better, or
Whatever you got.
okay, but we
If you
need a
got fresh juice,
well, we need a lot, yes, because we need to fill the enema bag, which
yeah, enema bags are 2 quarts.
hmm
But here's interesting to think about it this way: is that when you once it's left your body and is in your jar, it is aging.
okay,
It is aging. It may not be an accelerated aging because that's what time and pressure does for things. Um, um, but the typical age, if there is a landmark, 4 days is what people consider age. Up to 9 months is what other people teach. And there are people out there that have urine they've collected for 9 years, for
wow.
12 years. Imagine getting that past your lips.
So that will
Woo-wee.
be very more like more potent.
Oh, very more important. You
Okay.
won't even need much. You could just do a shot a day.
Okay, and here's another question. So, is this safe for children?
Yes, it's safe for children. As a matter of fact, in some cultures, they believe that drinking their children's urine would give them youth and vitality. I mean, they're close to their birth, so they still have the potency of the urine for the first 3 to 5 years. And if their diet was good, even better. Yeah, it's safe for all ages.
But is it safe? This person, I think, is asking, like, is it safe to drink for children their own urine? But you're saying that
Yes.
adults will drink to get like the youth hormones or something. But it's safe in any age, any time.
It's the same principle of when I say shivambu, shivambu, shivambu. Urine is urine is urine.
Hmm.
It's not age specific. It's not gender specific. It's
Hmm.
not sexual specific. It's not race specific. It's for the humans.
Okay.
It's a gift.
Okay. So is it more beneficial to drink your own, or like you can give somebody else yours? I don't think so. They will like it, but yeah.
It's a very good question. Once again, there's tradition and then there's practical. All right. According to tradition, there are hormones in the male urine that should be only consumed by men. Like if you couldn't produce urine, something was going on with your body, or you were unconscious or sick, then any man's urine would work for a man. This is the theory I'm moving toward here. Okay, it would be the same with a woman because of the estrogen, whatever the hormones for women. However, when you're sick and you can't produce urine, anybody's urine will do. There is a guy out in UK who's proving to people that has nothing to do with you getting well, and he would drink the urine of people who brought it to him, whether it was a man's or a woman's,
Wow.
a child, he didn't care. And last night, 2 nights ago at my party, a buddy of mine went and collected his urine. He brought it into the room. We started having a conversation. I said, let me have some of yours. And so I drank some of his urine. He got a big smile, and everybody else was looking at me kind of strange. I said, it's not that specific. It's urine.
Okay.
So does that answer your question? It's
Yes.
a mindset.
I think as a mindset, it's kind of like, oh, drinking my own is one thing, but drinking somebody else's, it's like, yeah, I think it's like that programming, and really we have to look beyond like the like the programming and the limitations. Yes, so interesting, very very interesting.
Yeah, and once you realize this, Alexandra, you get to see how ridiculous your mind used to keep that program going. I mean, when I'm doing a foot soak and I take my feet out of the tub and urine spills on the floor, I laugh hysterically because it's antibacterial, antiseptic. So the thought of people used to think, oh my God, you got that dirty urine on the floor. No, it just got out of the tub. I'm going to wipe it off.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that you can actually wash dishes in many like third world countries. They wash dishes with it. They do laundry with it because it has the cleaning properties. And when you hear of this, it's like, yeah, exactly. Like you be just cleaning and like putting Clorox or whatever to disinfecting. But
It's the same as some people used to take urine-soaked diapers and they would put it on their skin. They're the baby's urine.
oh wow.
Same with the kid. Yeah.
Something else I wanted to ask, but I forgot. I'm sure it's gonna come to me. But okay. One more question. So for women, can we drink during menstrual cycle? Can we drink, or how does it work?
Yeah, you can drink the menstrual cycle urine. You can even drink the menstrual blood if you want. They're both blood, and there are people who are doing both right now. They're drinking menstrual blood and they're drinking urine because they find it's very beneficial. They're both from the same blood source. They just were produced in different areas.
And I was talking about this just to make some laugh because I know some people may be like, oh, this is strange conversation, but usually it's about cooking and different things. But yeah, I was thinking about vampires and all these vampire stories and movies. If vampires drink blood, we can just give them urine because urine is blood. So some new Hollywood movies, vampires drinking urine, that would be funny.
Yeah, I would like to be the guy who makes that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a funny movie to work on. But anyway, I know a lot of filmmakers. Let me see if there are any questions. Hold on.
I would like to talk to them about a documentary that I'd like to produce where we take a camera and a crew around the world and we talk to people on the streets about urine therapy.
Oh.
And we get urine therapists and people who have been getting healings to come out public and have conversations, open them up with people out on the streets. And the name of the documentary is going to be Following the Shibambu Trail.
That's awesome.
And it's our way of taking it out to the world.
That's awesome. I believe there was a documentary. Yes, I think just came out like in October. The guy from Australia or New Zealand. Were you part of that?
Williams.
Were you part of that?
No.
No.
No, but he's featured in my book. His name is Steve Williams, and he produced Urine Aid.
Okay.
And he's getting more exposure every day now.
Okay. I don't know if I just saw about documentary. I didn't see the documentary, but I'm interested to see it. So, let me see. Can we? I think we touched. Can we combine urine from different times of the day in the same container? So you said yes. It doesn't matter. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So always in the glass, not in plastic.
Well, if you, I mean, I have a little excerpt in my book, but if you look in the Damar Tantra, which is in the Golden Fountain book, this was my Bible, one of them, the Golden Fountain. Damar Tantra talks about all the different vessels that you can use, from brass to copper to wood to bamboo, that will hold it and it won't mess it up. I mean, plastic is definitely a no-no.
Okay. Stainless steel will be good too.
You could use a stainless steel, but I mean, everybody has glass jars. Just recycle a jar.
Okay. Okay. So you travel with your little cup wherever you go?
I keep a cup in my backpack. I keep one in my car. Since nobody's really paying attention, I collect it in the bathrooms and public bathrooms, sometimes in hotels. I mean, what you do with your private life is private,
Hmm.
and you're the one who's responsible for your health. So if you're fasting on it, wherever you go, you want to be able to have some so you don't break your fast.
Okay, so you'd say something fasting on urine. I'm sure the viewer's gonna be like, what is he talking about? So you can actually fast on urine and what? You don't drink any water?
That's all you drink. You drink the urine when it's available. Sometimes it comes through every 15 minutes. And
Wow.
so that is your water, your food, your medicine. You have to understand the less food you put in your body. This is why fasting is so powerful
Hmm.
because you're not having to use your digestive system. You're not having to break down food. You're not having to add more work for the body, so the body can just do the job of cleaning out any toxic material that's still in the body that's been in there for years or the entire lifetime. So the reason people are doing urine therapy is because it's so effective just drinking it. So what they're doing is anywhere from 1 day, some guy just did a 30-day or a 40-day, and some group on Facebook just challenged each other to do a fast for 1 week. So all these people participated. They all lived on their urine for a week.
And you don't get dehydrated?
You don't get dehydrated,
No.
no. It's absorbed really fast, and it plumps up the cells.
Wow. Fascinating. Okay, so how many, so the as long the fasting is up to you, yes? How long you want?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Okay.
The longer you can go, the better. It's difficult for people who are working or have kids and a lot of responsibilities, and I get that. Sometimes it's hard for me because I do a lot of massage and reflexology, and I want to be able to be present and be strong for all my clients. But a lot of it has to do with your willpower and your ability to stick to something.
Okay, would you recommend for somebody who never done a fast that they do like maybe a juice fast first or something like this before they do, or just go straight to this?
I'd recommend you get a coach and a support
Okay.
team
Yes.
because you're venturing into the zone unknown. You're taking a leap of faith. If you get really clear that fasting is not a destructive act and it's not going to kill you, then it gives you even more confidence because what you're doing is trusting that the body's intelligence is a little more smarter than you are, and it's going to do just fine if you just trust it.
Okay. So it's always a good. I always tell this to my clients, to hire a professional or somebody, who an expert in that field, and then even go ask your doctor. I don't know what the doctor will say about this therapy. They may be, I don't know. What
Well,
so? What
I
doctors
would say
say?
get someone to be with you because like when you run a race, they're your teammate, they're your
Mm-hmm.
partner. They're going to juice you up, they're going to keep you going when you fall down
Mm-hmm.
or you have any challenges. So doing it alone is the most difficult thing for people who are fasting because if they have a weak moment and they give in and their psychology goes, well, I'm going to have some ice cream or eat a burger or whatever it is, they won't be able to do that because you'll be right there and hold them accountable.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any like experience with doctors that how did they feel about urine therapy?
I've not had any conversations with doctors, and I'm not opposed to having a conversation with doctor. But I know unless they have an open mind and a willingness to hear a new idea, we can only go so far in the conversation. I'm not going to blame them or judge them
Mm-hmm.
because they can only tell you what understanding and awareness they have about anything.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's because they have to, because otherwise they will lose their, it's just, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you may get some doctor off the record says you're absolutely right, and I would tell my clients, but I don't want to lose my job.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Okay, let me see. Did I miss any questions? Okay, so again, that if we put it in the fridge, so no, we don't put it in the fridge. And okay, so if we ever dilute it up, like, is it still, so it's gonna be, I think you've touched on this too, so it's gonna be more like homeopathic medicine. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be
But
it'll be
it's,
thinned down a little bit.
but it still work to some
Oh, it
degree, yes.
definitely works. I mean, homeopathic, they dilute it down 100 times.
Okay.
And they say the smallest amount, like when you get when you have a snake bite, they'll have the poison from the snake down to 100%. They say that's homeopathic. Same lightness, it heals you. So yeah, you can dilute it, but
Okay.
why?
I mean, for
Unless you
people, I know, I don't know. I'm just
getting
reading the
used to the
questions.
taste.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the taste factor.
Okay. Um, Anything else that I didn't ask or forgot to
Yeah,
ask?
I recommend that if you uh, start drinking pee, you better get a good sense of humor. Because
Of course.
people gonna look at you however they look at you, and I got so used to it. As a matter of fact, I had the time of my life writing this book. There is a section here on a whole new vocabulary that I came up with called the Piscabulary of Urinisms, and I make up the most pistastic words. They're magnificent, and you learn about a language that basically the urine drinkers play with. And when you start talking about urine and you bring humor into the situation, it sure makes it so much easier to talk about.
That's awesome. We didn't actually. I asked you this yesterday, but in our conversation, but I didn't ask you today. So how did you start? I think you said 25 years ago or something. Like, how did you get into urine therapy, and what started this journey? Can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, what was I thinking? Oh, I had two books. One was the one I showed you, the Golden Fountain. The
Hmm.
other one is the Secrets of Youthing by Leonard Orr, who started the conscious breathing movement on the planet in the early 70s. And so his book was influenced by his guru, Babaji, who he says is Shiva. And Shiva is the creator, supplier, provider of the universe. He is the Lord of the universe. So Leonard Orr, on behalf of Shiva, as if he's his representative or his rep, told me I should drink of my water and I will be healed. Well, it's like God saying, drink your water. I signed up. If Shiva tells me to drink my water, who am I to question that kind of almighty presence? So I started and I haven't turned back.
So
I stayed with it.
you just did it, like, no, just
No, I just said bottoms up.
okay.
Whatever happens, happens. It's not going to kill me because I'm a practicing immortal. I knew that if I drink anything, that's not the thing that will kill me. Only my mind will kill me. And so I started drinking it and started working with it. Now, I had a digestive challenge inside my intestines. I was working on a prostate issue. And it's taken as long as it took to heal these things. But I've stayed with it for 25 years.
Would that's great. Would you say that sometimes when people like do the fast, would they when you do? I mean, I've done some juice fasting and many times. So would can you have like some kind of side effects? Maybe like when you detoxing, like a headache or or different things like diarrhea or or rash. This can happen too, or
Oh, yeah. Yeah, anything can happen in the process of releasing toxins and viruses out of the body. It's best if people are educated so they know it's
mhm,
part of the
mhm.
purification process. It doesn't mean you're getting sick or
Exactly.
sicker.
Because when people, yeah, sometimes even with the juice fast, if they've never done it, they may think that like it makes them sick, but actually your body's cleansing and taking, cleaning all these toxins that you've had for years.
That's
So,
all the body ever wants to do is to return you to homeostasis, back to balance. 24/7. It's got
mm,
thousands and thousands of functions going on just to keep you healthy and happy. And the sooner we start working with the body and honoring it with the lightest high vibrational foods, which is vegetables, raw foods, and fruit, the sooner we'll get through the hardest part of the healing, and it'll be a lot easier for us to return to balance.
yes, I always talk about, lots of raw foods, which is hard because now here in New York, the weather is cold, and I see a lot of people eating cooked food because they say it makes them cold. They don't even like to drink water. They like to drink tea or but I feel like actually wintertime is very crucial time to eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables and go outside for a walk even when it's very cold and opening your window even for 5-10 minutes to get fresh air. Otherwise, if you have heat on and you're just breathing this recycle old air and you have paint and you just all these toxins that people even don't think of it, and then no wonder we get sick. And then they put all these what do you call those hand sanitizers with it's antibacterial. It's like but
Well, one of the benefits of being into urine therapy is it saves you thousands of dollars on the skincare products, the hair shampoos, the conditioners, all the things that you spend a lot of money on in order, even toothpaste, all the things we spent the money on in order to get healthier and do all the right proper hygiene goes away because urine handles all that stuff. And I have saved a lot of money. Now, when I go to the store, I just go to the produce section. I don't look at anything in a package, anything with a label. It has simplified my life because of this lifestyle. So if you people are still inundated with all the stuff you buy because you have been commercialized and been convinced that that's what you need, you may want to reconsider it.
so you wash your hair with urine?
I wash my hair, I wash my hands. Now, I'm a massage therapist of 40 years, so I've done like 37,000 reflexology treatments, massage, deep body work. Between clients, I wash my hands and my urine, and because of doing this, I never got arthritis, carpal tunnel, blown out wrists, blown out elbows, and so I encourage anybody who's a body worker to always collect some and keep some, to soak your hands and wash it between clients.
Interesting. Wow, it's so fascinating. Um,
It is.
uh, People saying thank you, great information. Somebody was asking me, not here, but I just remember. So would urine help like all these digestive issues too? If people have, so would you, when you're drinking, it will help, or do they need to do the enema? I guess both. Yes.
I would say both because you've got the things that the stomach drops into the intestines, and you've got the stuff that's leaving the intestines. Now, one thing I do when I'm counseling my clients, I let them find, we talk about their emotional issues, we talk about their deep scars and traumas throughout the life, and I like to teach a simple approach to healing, and that is that there's only two things that make you sick. It's either what you eat or it's what's eating you. If you're emotionally upset, you're going to have digestive problems. If you can get into meditation and breathing, change your diet, start working with urine therapy, not only will it help your digestive system, but you'll be more of a calm, centered person. And that's one of the things we have to learn in this life is how to maintain our energy and to manage our energy and our emotions.
And we waste so much energy on nonsense. So.
And concern and worry about things that are out of our control. Yeah, we're nuts on this planet.
Yes. I want to ask you, I always ask everybody that I interview, first question, if what do you like to do for fun? I mean, I'm sure you're going to tell me urine therapy, spreading the joy, but anything else that you like to do in your like free time when you're not doing the massage and teaching and coaching? And second question, if you can meet or be like spend a day with anyone from the past, from the future, could be like a character from the book, from the movie, and from other lifetimes, who would that be and what would you do with them?
Okay, things that I love to do is go walking with my friends, be out in nature, go to the dog park so I get dog therapy. I like going camping, going to hot springs. I mean, I do a lot of community time, so I really like my own private time when I have some. Give me the second question again.
If you can
person.
meet person or character, who would that be?
Merlin and Saint Germain. I'm going to meet the alchemists, the masters who are able to change form and matter and who had superhuman, supernatural abilities, because I always felt connected to these guys as spiritual teachers and masters. I go, I'd love to meet them in person.
Okay, and what would you do? Like work on some experiments? Talk?
I would do whatever they said. I just want to be in their presence and know what they know.
Okay.
To help me in my work.
Awesome. That's really.
What about you? What about you?
Who would I want to meet?
Yeah, who are you go-to people or beings or whatever?
No, nobody ever asked me that. I always ask the people that I interview. I don't know. I have so many. I would love to. Like, I love art. I'm a painter, so probably like Van Gogh or Monet or I don't know, Jesus and like Da Vinci. I don't know. maybe Kafka. Like I like, I don't know. There's so many people that I would love to.
Good stuff.
Cleopatra, um, Caesar. I don't know. Like all these people from history. I would love to like have a chat with them, have a little liquid gold. And yeah, and talking about ancient Egypt on the
Yeah.
papyrus, like in I don't know how thousands of years old papyrus and hieroglyphics, there is a story about drinking the urine. Correct?
Yeah, and some of the hieroglyphics showed them collecting it in a chalice
Hmm.
and giving it to a patient. I mean, there's symbols throughout history that go to not only urine therapy, but in the some of the Celtic symbols, there's one that looks like this. It's like that symbol
Hmm.
where it's got it's like a square and a dot in the middle, and that's a symbol for urine. It's an alchemical symbol. It's part of their other symbols.
Awesome. Yeah, so I would like to meet many different people. I love just talking to people. I love traveling, so whatever I could go, I would love to
Yeah.
go. But so if anybody is interested, like doing private coaching with you, how can you tell us like how they can reach you, your website and your Facebook page, which I'm gonna have it in the link, but just say it anyway. So um,
Okay, so they can either go to brothersage.com and learn about everything that I've done, the projects, the services, the books, the writings, the videos, the YouTube channel is on brothersage.com. If they go to Brother Sage Facebook page, you can always messenger me and we can set up a coaching session. Right now, I'm offering on a donation basis, so nobody can say the price is too high for the month of December. I'm also open to travel, so if we want to take Brother Sage, take my work and teachings and coachings to your city, state, or country, let's have that conversation as well.
okay, so hopefully you can come to New York to the city.
That Yeah, you and I started to have that talk.
Yeah.
All we have to do is move forward on anything. We can do it.
Yeah, maybe when the weather gets a little warmer, because now, like, when it's already winter, it's been so cold. We're having very strange weather. And I know you're on Instagram too, yes?
I'm on Instagram, but I don't use it as much as
Okay.
Facebook.
But just, some people just, and you on Twitter too, or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm on Twitter.
So any kind of social media, sometimes you don't know how people gonna find you. So, awesome.
You got to learn to balance out your cyber
I
life
know.
and
I'm
your real
like,
life. And so,
I like usually I used to do a lot of videos and like I took a little break because I've wrote two books in the last 4 years, two cookbooks, and it really took a lot of my time. And I also teach, art, and I'm surrounded by a lot of kids, and like it takes a lot of energy. Like it's like sometimes it's like you giving, 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 and I completely understand. Sometimes we just need like the time for ourselves. But yeah, I'm hoping to
true.
meet you in person, and that would be wonderful, and learn more from you. And I hope that you guys learn a lot from uh, our brother Sage, special guest today, and you're not afraid to try new thing and try your own pee and see how it goes.
Yeah, take the leap today, the leap of faith. For all your people, you evidently are curious, or you wouldn't be watching the show right now. So if your curiosity is a lot stronger because your desire to live, your desire to live a quality life with great health, and the ability to be creative and enjoy your life, then reach out to me, and I'll be more than willing to work with you. I have free time right now, so you should jump on that, guys, before all my time gets gobbled up.
Yes, because you're gonna be busy. I know you said your calendar next year is pretty full. But so and yeah, when you if you want to get the book Healing Waters from Within, you can get it. I get it from Amazon, but they can just get it directly from you, signed copy. Are you gonna be doing anybody like in Colorado now? Do you doing any like workshops in person? Like if somebody lives in Colorado, are you doing anything?
Yeah, I'd be glad to do a talk or a workshop or whatever. I'm in several bookstores here in Boulder. I'm
Hmm.
also in the Garland of Letters bookstore in Philadelphia. I've got an article coming out in Nexus magazine in Australia anytime now, as well as the Denver paper guy called me up and interviewed me over the phone. So more and more of this is going local and off the internet so that the people who have never heard of this have a chance to find out about it.
So yes, please spread this information because you never know who is going to benefit from this, and maybe somebody's life depends on this information because maybe there's no hope. Like there's so many sick people out there, and maybe there are some curious people who just wants to try the heck of it, so just to try it
Yeah.
and to see. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna try it for my allergies. So I'm excited. I hope this is gonna help me with my so be allergy
Yes.
free this spring.
Yeah, and tonight your husband's going to stand in his pee and show you he's got the courage. Yes.
Yes, yeah. Well, let's see how that goes. But I don't push him into, he's his own man, so he's already doing a lot of like modalities that maybe he thought that they were wild many years ago. So yeah, get thumbs up for him. So yeah, so thank you so much.
Sure.
And yeah, it was such a pleasure talking to you. And good night, everybody. And if you want to find more information, what I do, go to my website, olenkoskitchen.com. And I'd be happy to, talk to you. You can also send me a message, and then I can connect you with Brother Sage about this topic of Shivambu. Yes?
Yes, indeed. Keep it together. You're worth it, guys.
Okay, so good night. What time is it now? Yeah, you are an hour, no, 2 hours behind us, so it's still afternoon, but here it's already
Yes.
dark. So thank you so much for being on the show, and good luck with all your projects, and keep shining your
Thank,
beautiful light and beautiful energy to the world.
thank you for having a terrific show, and I wish you all the best in your future shows and in your career.
Okay, thank you. Bye, bye, guys. Bye.
Bye,
Uh,
bye guys.
Bye. The wrong button. Hold on. Okay. Good night.
Good night.
I think.